Hi, I'm Josh Wills, and I'm the technical lead of our Apple practice here at CDW. I'm joined today by...
Hi everybody, I'm Kyle Davis. I'm the Head of Solutions at CDW.
Hi, I'm Mike Callett. I'm Head of Service Architecture and Design at CDW.
Hi, I'm Daniel Dance, and I work as a Solutions Architect at CDW.
Okay, we touched on this a little bit earlier, but I want to revisit. A couple of you guys mentioned choice, but why do we think we're starting to see the rise of Mac and enterprise and see more of these Mac devices being adopted in enterprise?
I think people want to work from the device that they know and they like and they love, and more people are using Mac in their kind of personal life. They're familiar with working from Mac from an early age. They want to work from a Mac, and when they come into a corporate setting or a business, they don't want to work from a different device. They want to work from a device that they actually know and like. And as an enterprise, you probably want your users to work on a device that they know and like, because then you retain talent, you attract talent, and they know what they're doing with that device, right? So I think it's around familiarity and what the user enjoys working from fundamentally.
I do think like mobile devices, particularly phones and to a certain extent iPads, they're like incredibly personal devices. So regardless of whether you're using them for work or for personal, like users want to feel sort of connected to those things, and as you say, that they want that to carry through into the workplace when they're doing their work.
I remember reading an article, God knows when, it was quite a way back now, around people when Apple were going into enterprise in a bit more anger than they'd ever done before.
Yeah.
And when they started to do that and they actually got a bit of traction, they found that there was less breakages and replacements because people were caring for the device, right? Rather than having a device that it's a work device, smash, leave it in a taxi, whatever it might be, right? Versus a device that now they feel connected with.
Proud to own.
Yeah.
To use it. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that's a big thing on why we're seeing this as a growth area, right, in enterprise. I think the other thing on it as well is I've been working on Mac for over 10 years, right, on various different guises and devices. I switch back to other operating systems, and I fluidly go between them depending on the experience that I need or the task that I'm trying to execute against. Now, realistically, I can do all that now on my Mac, so I don't need to go back and see. Whereas if I go back 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, I had to have a virtual desktop, or I had to have an emulator of some sort to be able to allow me to do the things that were in enterprise IT that weren't available to function on a Mac properly. That's less of a challenge now with everything moving into SaaS and into web browsers. There's less of a reason why you can't get those applications functioning on your device of choice.
Sure. I think as well, something that Mike mentioned there was around, the personalisation of the kind of the iPhones and things like that. But it's a whole ecosystem, isn't it?
People joined up experience.
Exactly, and you just don't get that with other platforms. And it's just so we talked about things like continuity earlier on and stage management, things like that. The ability to do that on your different devices is just powerful and awesome and great for productivity and
Something
user
as simple
experience.
as having iMessage just appear on your Mac, on your iOS device, on your phone, without having to set it up or configure it or do anything complex. Is really powerful to draw users into wanting a Mac device to use while they're at work.
I think if we think about talent, right, and the type of people that are coming through into the workforce now, a lot younger, they've probably been using these, like say, familiarity, they've been using them at university, they've been learning on them. Offering them the platform they want could be the difference between them picking your company and someone else's as well, right? And with the talent shortage that we have in the competitiveness in the market, if someone's not getting the end user experience they want, they might go somewhere else or might not stay where they are. Comes on to my next question a little bit, is that what do you think IT teams need to be considering to deliver the best end user experience when adopting this technology and thinking about the parity between the different types of OSs they might be using?
I think this comes to the whole digital experience monitoring or DEX kind of piece, right?
Yeah.
So I think, yes, we have devices, applications, and the user wants to use them. But as an IT function that's providing the service to these people, how do we know that the changes we are making are positively or negatively impacting their productivity level? Right? And that's where DEX comes in. And I think having that data to make informed decisions on device type, amount of memory, CPU, GPU power, the form factor requirement based on the mobility of that user, having that actual data from a decision-making point of view is a lot easier. And then if you're taking that to your board to say, we need to change the way we work because of X, Y, and Z, and this is the data that fulfills or proves the case for it, it's an easier justification to then go and make that change rather than, I think I need to do Apple in Enterprise because it seems like a good thing to do. Well, actually, there's a lot of data in the background here that can really make that the case. And I think the other thing on it for me is Apple Financial Services.
Yeah.
So taking that payment profile headache away, people automatically think, oh, Apple's expensive. Well, actually, most premium grade laptops that you're buying from many other manufacturers are around the same price.
They are now anyway, yeah.
Yeah. So if it's all around the same price, then why are we not offering choice? And then the answer then is, well, I can get financial services from this person and that person. Well, actually, Apple do it as well. And you have options around capital payment profiles, OPEX payment profiles, and you can really pay the way you want to pay based on your cash flow in your organisation. So I think that's helping to drive that and drive the user experience. It's enabling them to get the device they want.
And it's not just, I mean, the residual values on the Apple devices is incredible, and that can really help lower the payment profile. I know, like in my personal life, I often think, oh, can I get something a bit cheaper, off eBay or whatever, and the residual value and how much they retain, it's just it's quite mind-blowing at times.
I mean, ultimately, it's all around providing a first-class experience on Mac OS, like we do with other platforms in the environment, and we can help customers with that. So customers might be at the beginning of that kind of journey. We can help them with things like an Apple readiness review, where we do a top-to-bottom review of their entire environment, IT teams, HR, procurement, to understand where they are at when it comes to being able to support and manage Mac OS in the enterprise, and where there's gaps we can help them fill those gaps, educate them, maybe provide managed service wraps for those kind of areas as well.
Or the professional services if they want us just to help them set up that MDM of choice.
Exactly.
And even the decks of choice as well, right? So
yeah.
I think the key thing for me, one takeaway on decks for me, for anybody here, is to get something that can actually provide data from all of the different types of platforms that you're using, whether that's iOS, iPadOS, macOS, Windows, whatever, so that you've got one location to get that data to make an informed decision. Because if you're just going to use a product that does one thing, you'll end up having 7 products that delivers you the data in different ways, and then you can't make a decision.
And then getting someone to pull it into one spreadsheet so you can look at it in one place. Yeah.
But then hold yourselves accountable. Hold yourselves accountable with experience level SLAs and those types of metrics to make sure that once you've set all that up, you're maintaining it into the future.
Well, imagine, right, if you're going to roll out Ventura, right?
Yeah.
So you're rolling that out and you're running on whatever version you're running in your organisation today. Imagine having the data that says, we have moved operating system to Ventura, and that is decreased the amount of CPU used, increased the amount of memory available because of the way that it's more better at scheduling, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And actually that has meant that the devices we already have, we can sweat for a little bit longer if we wanted to, rather than now being at the top end of ready to be replaced because the resource is being consumed by operating system requirements.
Or a dev that had this before doesn't need that higher spec anymore, can actually have this lower spec and it'd be more cost effective for your procurement.
There's been an engagement I've been on where developers and traders and various other people saying, I need a device that's got multiple NVIDIA GPUs. We've done some profiling on it. We found out that actually they're using 10% of a single GPU. And it's like, well, that's great. That's like a £10,000 device, and you're using 10% of its functionality. So actually having that data allows you to maybe save some money, but still deliver the right experience for that end user. So I think, again, for me, it's really key to get the data to make an informed decision.
100%. And make sure your IT teams are set up as well. I think that's where the readiness review comes in, is that make sure that they have got the skill to give that end user experience in terms of the support when tickets are raised. Because if that's not set up, then you're going to provide that inconsistency and experience between your different platforms.